News View, here for you. Good evening, I'm Michael Badger, and you're watching News View. The top story tonight comes from the Los Angeles Times business section and is by Jim Pazangra, I think, um, about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac's bailouts could reach $363 billion. These are the housing finance companies where the taxpayer bailouts are expected to reach $363 billion through the year 2013, according to government projections released on Thursday. And the Federal Housing Finance Agency says that the scenario, the worst of three scenarios for the economy and housing market uh, are assuming a deeper second recession. Under the best case scenario, which would be a stronger near-term recovery in housing prices, these bailouts of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac could reach $221 billion. The third case scenario is where housing prices continue on their current projections, resulting in the combined bailout reaching $238 billion. And our next story also is from the the Los Angeles Times, by Steve Padilla, about NPR commentator Juan Williams has lost his job at NPR PBS after saying, quote, that people wearing Muslim garb on airplanes made him, quote, worried and, quote, nervous. Juan Williams said this on the Fox News Channel powerhouse rating show, The O'Reilly Factor. And if you ask me, this just proves Juan Williams' point about political correctness, showing that he got fired over this. So you've made Juan Williams' point, NPR. And the next story is Microsoft has launched Windows Phone 7. So I guess this would be Samsung and AT&T with the HTC HD7, while T-Mobile's uh, is launching theirs. But it says, don't let the 7 fool you. This is a fresh software platform, but after testing it, this person says that it's surprisingly fully baked. And they had some crashes and problems with applications, being updated, but for the most part, the test drive of the Samsung Focus has been exceptional. So this is an operating system, I guess, for the Samsung Focus that Microsoft has gotten into. But they list here, this is MSNBC's review of it. They say it doesn't have YouTube, Flash video support, cut and paste, or multitasking for third-party applications. But they say you can still play music while going into other applications on it. And if you live in Champaign County, on Saturday, November 6th, at the News Gazette Distribution Center from 8 a.m. to noon, it's the countywide residential electronics collection time again. So they will be accepting your television sets, any size or type of TV, including console or projection TV sets, computers, laptops, computer monitors. They'll take printers, scanners, keyboards and mice, mobile phone cables, zip drives, fax machines, VCRs, DVD players, MP3 players, and video game consoles. And that's all on Apollo Drive off Olympian Drive. It's basically at the corner of East Olympian Drive and Apollo Drive in Urbana or Champaign. It's Champaign. So if you have any electronics and you live in Champaign County, it's Saturday, November 6th from 8 a.m. to noon. And right now we'll take a break, and please stay tuned for more news, weather, and whatever else here on NewsView. Okay, we're back here on NewsView, and the next story is about the healthcare that has now, according to Thomas Kelly, put Democrats and Republicans in peril. Even Republicans who have promised to repeal the law. And several polls in the last month show that the political landscape could trap both parties in losing gambles. There are Democrats I know who are scared to even mention Obama at this point because of things like the health care reform that it will raise prices, and the Republicans who are trying to get rid of it, some of them aren't trusted by people like in the Tea Parties, um, and with good reason sometimes. But it says here the political challenge for the Democrats may be with the so-called universal mandate requiring uninsured to buy coverage beginning in 2014, when the healthcare exchanges are supposed to provide more coverage and competitive costs. Um, the fact that the subsidies and waivers will be granted to those who can't afford the coverage means that many people oppose this approach to health care. Some lawsuits are challenging the federal government's constitutional authority requiring citizens to carry health insurance, and many people see this as the government getting into their business, and one problem is the debt ceiling. We're in trouble no matter what we do almost with the debt ceiling in the country. That is like a ceiling of a building. The debt has to reach it at some point, and once it does, well, they only start raising it again, or we could have a crash in the economy, and a lot of people think you should invest in silver and or gold. You've probably heard that. So the next story is from the Washington Post about France being in turmoil trying to raise the age of retirement, and the President Sarkozy's conservative views have been tested, and the turmoil has been caused by a strike and protest movement in France. Sarkozy's aides predicted the unrest would soon peter out, but so far this has not yet happened. The dispute was over Sarkozy's decision to raise the retirement age from 60 to 62 to balance Social Security's budget in France that goes into the red each year. Excuse me. He says there was no other choice, and he said if the retirement system is to retain adequate resources to serve the country's aging population, this is what should happen. And this would still leave France with one of the world's most generous pension programs and retirement age, which is well below those of its European neighbors and other countries. And that's in the Washington Post by Edward Cody. You can read more if you get the chance. And President Obama was in Seattle on the 21st of October, 2010, And he was meeting with people outside of the Top Pot Donut Shop in Seattle, and he well, I don't know what he's going to do, but there he is in Seattle. And one last story here that you should, if you have an interest in TV or engineering and television, this is at edn.com, and it's called Bet Your Boots, It's Beer Time by David Porter, who's an engineer, talking about how things were for a while when he worked at WICD in Champaign, Illinois. It's a good read if you have any interest in that. It's on EDN's website, and I think you can get to it by searching Google News. Just type in Champaign, Illinois, and you'll get Bet Your Boots, It's Beer Time. I won't read it to you, but it's a good read. I think we might have a new face tonight on Newsview, but probably not. Stay tuned for the rest of the show, and thanks for watching. Now, here for you is the local Champaign-Urbana weather forecast. Friday night we'll start with a low temperature of 39 degrees Fahrenheit and cloudy. Saturday, high of 69 degrees Fahrenheit and mostly cloudy with a 50% chance of thunderstorms. And for Saturday night, low of 53 degrees Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy again, with a 50% chance of thunderstorms once again. Then into Sunday, the 50% chance of thunderstorms is still there, high of 71 degrees Fahrenheit, and mostly cloudy. And Sunday night, mostly cloudy with a 40% chance of thunderstorms with a low of 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So this has been your weekend weather for this week.
Harvest season is a busy time on farms, but don't overlook safety in the rush. Dozens of farm workers are killed by electrocution each year when farm machines make contact with overhead power lines. Take note of electrical lines when moving equipment, like portable grain augers and large combines. Make sure everyone who works on the farm knows the location of power lines and keeps farm equipment at least 10 feet away. For more information, visit safeelectricity.org. A word of advice from safeelectricity.org. If you're planning a home improvement or repair project, take a few minutes up front for the basics. Check your electrical tools and cords for any frayed or broken insulation before plugging them in. Locate overhead power lines, especially lines connected to your home. Keep metal ladders, pruning poles, and other long tools far away from them. Be a safe weekend warrior. For more information, visit safeelectricity.org.